show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What y'all doing? Holla, holla, and pop your collar. I know the weekend is here. I know you're excited. But it's going to be cold, so you can't go nowhere. So you got to stay home. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. A pleasure to be here, as always. The better half is in the house. She'll say hello in a second. She's researching things. That's what she does. Don't worry, sweetheart. You're not on camera yet. I know you just can't wait to show everybody how beautiful you look today. We'll talk to Roseanne in a second. We got plenty of stuff to get into today. This is, I'll admit, a lot of this stuff that I always do behind the scenes becomes a headache after a while. My YouTube channel is not just automatically setting up, so I have to set it up every time. And it's annoying as heck to do this. But I'll figure it out. I'll have this weekend to do it if Roseanne will give me an opportunity to actually work. I want to talk about that a little bit. I have a new nickname for Roseanne. It is Love Terrorist. She's laughing about it already. Yes, I'll explain to you what the Love Terrorist is and how she did. Yes. I'll explain all that to you in a second. And you can tell me if you have a love terrorist in your life. It's a sweet thing, but it can be exactly that, terrorism. It's a whole thing. But anyway, I'll get into that in a minute. I want to talk about today, so if you get a chance. And the reason why I say it at the beginning of the show, what we're going to talk about throughout the show. Sometimes we get to it, sometimes we do not. But if you can't stick around, these are the things that you would come back to listen to the show, be it WTIC, the Odyssey app, or ReeseOnTheRadio.com, because we're going to discuss those things. So what are we going to talk about today? I want to talk a little bit about this young man at the opening monologue. I'll get to that in a second. This young man is somebody by the name of Steely, who is saying a lot of violent, well, at least one particular video is talking a lot of violent rhetoric. We'll talk about him, but I want to talk about the significance of him in the opening monologue. Also, we'll talk about, of course, big news. It is the news on this Friday, the Supreme Court ruling about tariffs and the Trump administration. We, of course, will get into that. We will deep dive. I also want to talk about something I talked about yesterday, and that's Jazzy Fat Nasty. She is also known as Jasmine Crockett. What? That, okay. I've always called Jasmine Crockett Jazzy Fat Nasty, but to myself. But she is. She's been a nasty person. And, you know, she's just a nasty person. But I'm going to defend her today. And I'm going to defend her own words against the absolute traitorous black folks who have sided with the white man here. I don't understand. You all have turned into Stevens from Django. What happened? What? And where is Barack and Michelle? I hear nothing about them, but it's a whole long thing. We'll talk about that as well. Also, I want to get into a little bit of the Epstein files. I know you folks love the Epstein story. You know, we got to talk about Epstein and Prince Andrew, a former prince, and all that other stuff. But White Mike brought it up yesterday. Also, I want to address something that a caller said at the end of the day, talking about if it was a Klansman, you wouldn't take his call. How would I know he was a Klansman? Like if he called and said, I'm a Klansman, you think I would go, oh, I've got to hang up. Are you kidding me? Do you know who Reese on the radio is? If a devout Klansman had called the show and said, hey, Reese, I'm with the Klan. I like to talk to you. I'm the guy who says, tell me more. That's just me. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's me. And let me explain to you why. I'm going to say this before I get into the opening monologue. I really don't care what people say. And I am personally getting a little sick and tired of you affected by words, people. It's starting to annoy me. And I got to be honest, please stop calling me with your crying. I can't. I'm not your babysitter or your therapist. You got to stop calling me with your crying. Did you hear what White Mike said? That was stop crying. Mike's words can't hurt you. And if they are, that says more about you than Mike. Mike says a lot of off the wall. Did you hear him after he spoke yesterday? He literally laughed. Why? Because he's trolling. I know who he is. And even when I know he's going off the deep end, I push back. But I'm not offended by what Mike says because it doesn't affect me. I don't immediately think, White Mike said something. Must be truth. No. Or even if it's false, if it's 100% categorically false, that's the point. It's false and it means nothing. It holds no weight. It takes up no space unless you let it. Sure, I know that people are going to be sensitive to it, but I say to all of them, get off your high horse. Someone had a differing opinion than you. Imagine you, in your high and might, had decided to correct everybody else in the world, and guess what? An entire world decided to come down on you because you decided that you were the arbiter of what is truth and what is, permitted speech. What do you think that you would say? Well, where's all this vitriol coming from? I thought it was okay to care about. No. What if they decide that it isn't okay? Would you say everybody should be silenced then? Would you think that your words should be silenced? No, and here's where the arrogance comes in. When you get to the point where you are so arrogant that you get to tell people what they can and cannot say and what they can and cannot believe, you are in the wrong. Even if what they say is obnoxious and ridiculous. You need more speech, not less of it. So stop with the complaining and crying because your feelings get hurt. You know, Ben Shapiro used to say, your feelings are not facts. Let me tell you what he really means to say, or what I think he really means to say. No one cares about your feelings. And you have to get used to that. You are not going to get a participation trophy because you cried. Okay? So now that we understand each other, please never come to me talking about what I wouldn't allow on this program. I want more speech from every walk of life. I am not afraid of it. I want to be challenged, and I want to hear obnoxious stuff. That kind of stuff, I get a thrill out of that. I find it funny. Somebody got mad at me yesterday. I was like, you think it's funny? Yes, I do. Forgive my sick sense of humor. Okay? But I love every bit of it. So let it go. Okay? We're going to need some people, especially guys. Women, no offense to you ladies, I can understand if certain words, offend you, a certain speech offends you. Women are definitely more sensitive to that. They are the fairer sex, and I recognize that. Okay? But let's be honest, folks. Have you ever listened to the show in the last year and a half? There are more women who call up here and says, I don't care about what Mike says. They'll just call Mike crazy and a wackadoodle and move on. It's the guys who lose it. What happened? Whew, talk about a 180 out of phase switcheroo. Just relax. That's all, okay? Seriously. I don't know what to tell you outside of that. Now, speaking of which, there's a young man by the name of Keith Sheely, I guess there is his name. He said this before the No Kings rally on Tuesday that nobody talked about. Did you know there was a No Kings rally on Tuesday this week?
I'm still trying to figure out. We haven't had a king since.
But apparently there was a nationwide No Kings rally all across the nation on Tuesday. Did you see any reports on that? We watch the news every day.
There is a mass delusion happening across our country.
But did you see any of it?
I prefer to avoid delusional people. So
okay.
All
anyway,
right.
Here's what this young man, Keith, what's his name? Keith Sheely. I guess that Interesting. Keith Sheely said this.
I have an idea. A No Kings protest, but we have weapons and we use them.
Well, we have weapons and we use them, Sheely says. Now, again, not offended at all. Sheely can say whatever he wants to say, whether or not it's off the wall or not.
You're welcome.
But I do want to get into this. Sheely is calling for violence. Mm-hmm. Sheely has photos on his page. Punch your local Nazi. He writes things like that. And he also, let me see, here he writes on his LinkedIn and Facebook pages, he describes himself as an experienced field director. He also has experience in working on political campaigns. His resume indicates that he has worked with Bob Stachen's campaign for state senate. Says he spent 3 months on Governor Ned Lamont's 2018 campaign as a field organizer. Here's a picture of him, and he posted saying, canvassing with Lieutenant Governor and candidates Bob Stacton and Mark DePonte, less than 50 days. Pick a race, get involved, work hard, make a difference, he wrote. What an incredible opportunity this campaign was. Though we did not pull off a win, I'd say closing the gap significantly in just 2 years. Now, he talks about all of the campaigns that he's worked on. And this is important to note because I say this all the time. I brought it up before, that the campaigns must recognize, and the candidates must recognize, and even the elected officials must recognize that when they get on the stage, be it local, national, or international, they must consider what their constituents are hearing, right? When they say something, they are saying it to those constituents, and in some ways, they are causing them to act.
Right, like when Trump speaks and he's suddenly, the head of the Klan.
Exactly. Peacefully and patriotically means break windows at the Capitol. But anyway, that's another. Right. That's what we're supposed to believe. But I want to go a different route. I need to go a different route here.
Real quick.
Yeah.
He says pick a race.
Yes.
Like Rachel Dolezal?
No, stop it.
Oh. If we get to pick.
He meant a political race.
Well, he didn't specify. Okay. You can pick your gender. Why not your race?
Fair enough.
Sorry.
You take me off course here. Anyway, you make a good point, though. Anyway, he should specify. What's his name? Keith, get on it. Anyway.
Pokemon, I choose you.
My point was, that's what I'm trying to get back to. Oh,
sorry.
All right. Darn you. My point was, we can no longer just look at the political candidate or the elected official as the reason for this behavior. I want to look at it this way, and I hope that a lot of you will consider this. Somebody like Keith here, Keith Sheely, represents something very, very important. And Keith Sheely would have you believe that he is one on the right side of history. He will also make you believe that he is more compassionate than you. He wants to punch Nazis, for crying out loud. He wants to stop authoritarianism. He believes he is a freedom fighter. He chose Governor Lamont. Just so you hear, he thinks he is a freedom fighter. He wishes to act in violent ways against people who are in opposition, bringing weapons and using them, punching people he considers Nazis. He chose Governor Lamont to campaign for. I want you to understand that is the type of person that wishes to campaign for Ned Lamont. That is what he chose. Ask Keith whether or not he is a smart man. He will tell you yes. Ask him if he's a compassionate man. He will tell you yes. Ask him if he wishes or he would want to enact violence on his political enemies. He would tell you yes. Ask him who he supports for governor. He will tell you Governor Ned Lamont. I want you to think about that, folks. You notice that when these people start talking about violence and killing and maiming and hurting, they never pick our side. They don't. Sure, we've got some radicals on our end, who wish that we obeyed the Constitution or imprisoned people who harm others, things like that. I'm sure we got some crazy radicals.
That's
some people who, probably say that DEI is bad and we should stop hiring people based upon their color or on their sexual identity. Those radicals.
Crazy.
But people like Sheely here says that we should harm people. We should put them in harm's way, that we should use weapons on them. I find all of that interesting, that they choose Governor Lamont and people of his stripe, let's call it that. That's what we need to recognize. I'm not going to put this on Lamont. I'm going to put this on the choices of the people who don't condemn people like Sheely, but yet condemn you for having a point of view. My point of view never exacted any violence on anybody, but Sheely there. Boy, I'm so glad he didn't get a weapon on Tuesday. Let's take a break. When we come back, more news, more views. Roseanne is here. And don't forget, we'll talk about her love terrorism when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, we're back. What is this weirdness going on with my camera? Keep showing me too tall and then too short. That's all over the place. Reese on the radio, Roseanne on the radio here, and we are live. Love terrorist, Roseanne in the building. Love terrorist.
Thank you. I try.
And you're proud of that, aren't you? You would be.
Sort of.
I'll explain. I'll explain. Stand by for that because it's a funny thing that she does that is also annoying as all get out. But I can't stop laughing even though it's annoying. It's a weird thing. I got to say, first of all, let me start by saying I got to give a shout out today because I want to show this man some love. So I went to the Urban League of Greater Hartford's. It's called A Legacy Revealed, United in Strength. It's the 2026 annual Black History Celebration event at the Mark Twain House and Museum. I went there last night, and I was, let's just say, expecting many in the black community to say, what is he doing here? or it was sort of like what he doing here? That's what I was expecting. I did not get that. It was an event. I will say that for starters, let me just begin with the bad first, okay? Reese on the radio should never, and I mean never, ever eat jerk chicken. Never, ever eat jerk chicken.
Why would you eat?
But that's foul. You're going to be on a roll today, aren't you? You're going to be a particular certain way today. So it was really, really spicy, and I was not prepared. And let me just say this. It was really spicy. I was not prepared. Listen, let me just say it like this, okay? I expected jerk chicken to taste like, what was the word that I was looking up? Hold on, I want to look it up. I was expecting jerk chicken to taste like, there it is, chicken. Oh, that's what I was expecting. It to taste like chicken.
Oh, God.
Instead, it was nothing but spices, and but the rice was great. I even had some vegetables. I don't know which one they were. I'm certain I identified a carrot. There were some other vegetables there.
Reese cannot eat anything stronger than salt.
Yep.
Anything that is more spicy than salt, Reese is in trouble.
That's true.
Or mayonnaise.
I've had some Old Bay. Isn't that spicy? No?
Sure.
Okay, well, anyway. So that was okay. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to two individuals who were there in particular. But I did not. In fact, I was quite stunned at how welcoming the folks were at the Urban League. They knew who I was.
Did they
Don't
know?
start. Yes, they did. They did. I want to give a shout out to Daryl, who is an avid listener of the show, former teacher. I'm just going to call him Professor Daryl.
Okay.
He says to me, I said, hey, what do you do, Daryl? And he says to me, you ever seen that movie 12 Years a Slave? And I went, no, I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. He goes, I'm 12 years a slave. He goes, I'm a retired teacher. Been out 12 years. I went, okay. I thought that was funny. He listens every day, and I know he's listening today. He is a fantastic individual. I spoke to him most of the night. He is from the Caribbean, and I swear to you, I'm not kidding, for a guy who is an older gentleman, looks as youthful. I mean, black don't crack, I ain't gonna lie. He looked like Harry Belafonte, like in a good years, before he started talking like this. Like Harry Belafonte, good looking.
Look him up.
Yeah, go ahead. Just like Harry Belafonte right at the Deo years. He looked just like him. And he was fantastic. He asked me some interesting questions. I'll talk about it in the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, okay.
And also, I want to give a shout out to Sergeant Steve Austin of the Hartford Police Department. Sergeant Stephen Austin.
Not Stone Cold.
No. He is of the recruitment division at the Hartford Police Department. He was there. He and I spoke. He is very familiar with Todd Feinberg. I think he has been a guest on this program. Are you familiar with him, Roland, by any chance? Stephen Austin. No, okay. Looks like a drill sergeant. He's like very, very prim and proper. He's got the drill sergeant haircut, Sergeant Slaughter kind of.
Called a high and tight.
Yeah, high and tight. That's what it was. He's very.
You're so cute.
He's dignified. He's like, pleasure to meet you. Yes, I'll shake your hand. He walks like an action figure. But they're a very dignified man. So I said, look, come on the show anytime you like. He's working out there, working with, trying to get recruits out there. He's a very dignified officer, sergeant, that is. And I want to show him some love as well. But it was an interesting event. A lot of things going on. I did not get a chance to see what was going on in the auditorium. I was told that I should look for the assistant curator. Do you know after all of that, Roland, I got there, she left an hour and a half before I even arrived. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for her, and she's not there. So her dad said that she would be waiting for me or expecting me. And then when we finally reached out to her, it turned out she had left at 5 o'clock. That's when my show's on. So I guess maybe there was miscommunication.
Well, she had to catch the last hour, of course.
Perhaps. Yeah. That may be the reason for it. Also, programming note. On Wednesday, we are going to have Cara Pavlock D'Amato on the program. She will be here to talk about the Ice Out, Ice In jacket she was wearing. Remember that? And
is this the one that we have to make sure everybody knows that she's here after work? She's not on work hours?
No, this is different. Else? No, that was somebody else.
Okay.
But Katie Pavlock D'Amato will be here. We'll not just talk about that whole ordeal with her wearing the Ice In jacket. We'll also talk about other things, of course, these proposals by the Democrats, 5044, House Bill 5044. We'll talk to her about that. We'll talk about some other things, the recent press conference, I think it was yesterday, that was sort of counter to the Democrats talking about $1 billion tax break for nutmeggers. We'll talk about the counter of the Republican Party who wish to have some oversight into some of the spending due to the recent controversies. We'll talk to her about a whole bunch of things like that. Joseph says, look forward to the $6 million man. Trust me, I was going to play the sound effects too. Joseph, I chose not to. How come Mark from West Hartford wasn't there? He's not doing very well, and he is not up in the atom yet, but we will send out, some prayers to him as well. By the way, holla at all of the scallywags in the chat room who are hanging out today. Don't forget to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and also on YouTube, and if not, on X. As I said, Roseanne is here. Roseanne, how are you today?
I'm awesome, as per usual.
As per usual, having a good... So I was telling everybody in the next sort of 4 minutes that we have to talk about this before we go to a quick break, that you and I got to experience the Cybertruck, and I know we're
yeah.
And you and I have decided that is going to be our purchase, to the chagrin, by the way, of listeners and supporters of the show.
Go drive one first. Go to West Farms Mall or Mohegan Sun and drive the Cyber Beast, and then call the show and tell us why you wouldn't have one.
I think that's fair. I think you have to. Look, and it's true. I used to be guilty of this.
Yeah. You did not want. You wanted nothing. And I actually saw the crash test video.
Yeah. We saw all of these.
I said, well, I saw this when we were still in San Antonio. I was like, I really think I want this. Like, I ain't getting no electric ride.
See? And that's what I was like, right? I said,
you.
I didn't want anything to do with that truck.
That's stupid. Fossil fuels, America. And that's really what he sounds like at home, guys.
Contempt. It was contempt prior to investigation.
Yeah.
It was. And then I get an opportunity, and I was reluctant to even sit in the car. And then I got in it, and I'm saying to myself, like, I was being convinced as it was going on. We went to Whole Foods in San Antonio. You were inside Whole Foods. You know, nothing against Whole Foods. Please don't take it personal. I just have this thing about going into that place. If I can't spell quinoa, I can't be seen in a facility that sells it. I know it is a Q. Anyway, but when you go into Whole Foods, I take a walk around the mall. Where we go. What's it called? The Quarry?
It was the Quarry.
Yeah, the Quarry in San Antonio. So I'll walk around and check out the mall, go out to different stores, go to Office Max, go to whatever, clothing store, whatever. And as I'm walking through the parking lot, I see a Cybertruck. It was the first time I'd ever been that close to it. And I circled around the darn thing like a shark and like a stalker. The whole time I'm circling around, I'm like, I hope the owner doesn't come by and like looks at me because I'm like staring in the window, you know, like it's on a showroom. And I can understand if somebody's looking in their car. You might say, hey, buddy, what are you doing? Looking at my car. But no one did. And I walked around it and I got a good look at it. And I'm just going, I don't know why, but I'm so fascinated by it. And then it grew. So we're talking about 2 years worth of this interest growing when I hated it 2 years ago. Then I get to ride in it and all bets are off now.
It was pretty cool. I've decided that we will have one. Here's the thing that you're always talking about is how I'm always, there's a red light. I don't have to worry about that because the truck knows before you do.
Right. And it's not like you don't have control.
Right. You can always assume control.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
It's not like something you have to get authorization for. Computer, give me the comms.
Right.
It's not like that.
Right.
There's this sort of idea that you have to ask the computer for permission to get the controls back. It's like, it's instantaneous.
You push the brake or the gas pedal, and it's yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What I didn't know about it, you knew this, and you did. Did you tell me when I just not listened to you? But I did not know that the what's it called, the automatic drive on the thing.
Self-driving is $100.
The self-driving is $100 a month, Roland.
But I'm saying if you consider that part of your monthly payment already, like $100 really isn't that big a deal. You know, I didn't think about the insurance on that vehicle.
Yeah,
insurance is probably
you're gonna be paying $1,200 a month
altogether for
the extra $100, the insurance and a note.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But we did see that we could lease it.
Yes.
For $700, was it $700 a month?
Yeah, $700 a month.
And I don't necessarily want to own any more vehicles.
Yeah.
Like I'm more in it's like we're at an age where let's lease because every 2 or 3 years I want a new car.
Right. The other part is that's also great about this is that now they have, and they just announced yesterday, that there is a dual motor model for just under $60,000. So the regular model was $119,000. They brought that down to $89,000, Now they have a new model that is $60,000.
So you could buy a house with that, right?
We have a house.
It's literally about half the cost of it's half of what our house costs.
Yeah, they don't come in colors. It was wrapped. Dean says, I've never been in a Cybertruck, but I have seen a real shiny red one. Yes, people color them all the time.
It is totally.
I like Shacks. Remember we looked at Shacks like a couple months back?
I think.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. Bad Street says, I have to get a talk radio job to afford that. I totally understand. Oh, crap. I totally looked at the time. All right, we got to take a break. Thank you, sweetheart. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll talk a little bit about this, and then we'll get into the program when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back. Reese on the radio, Roseanne on the radio here on this Friday. Bad Street wanted to know what color we're going to get. I think we're going to get the basic color. I mean, we're not going to, I don't want to paint it or anything like that. It's just going to get the regular old, silver color.
I'm looking at Shaq's McGirt.
Shaq's what?
Shaq's Cybertruck. This is
he had a custom made because I think they had to make it a little bigger for him.
No, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, he's massive, so he had to get a sort of a custom model.
Did you talk about how it lifts and goes up
I
and down?
did not.
Oh
I
my
did
gosh.
not. I've already talked about it too much. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I feel like we should get a commission.
Yeah, exactly. All week, Roland said all week I've been talking about it.
Sorry.
I've been making a big deal out of it. I'm pretty sure people are bored of me talking about it now. So I'm trying to steer away from that. Anyway,
Okay.
Coming up.
Let's talk about the car then. No.
Coming up, we're going to talk about the Supreme Court ruling and what that means. If you've noticed, a lot of people haven't been losing their minds about it for good reason. Nothing has changed, and Donald Trump has already given a statement about the Supreme Court ruling, which is interesting that it is almost weird that they gave Donald Trump an out in all of this. So we're going to break all of that down from Jonathan Turley, John Yoo, and, of course, Shannon Bream are on Fox explaining to what all of this means. And I'm thankful. I want to give props to people on the left for not trying to dunk on this ruling because they all knew what it meant as soon as they saw it. And the knee-jerk reactions aren't really there. But I'm sure that, some people will speak. But I think they know that they were only going to get embarrassed. So we'll talk about We'll talk about that in due course. Also, I want to break down this Jasmine Crockett thing as it pertains to Stephen Colbert, CBS News, their parent company, and her not getting equal time on the network, and the obvious, let's say, division that's happening in that Senate race between this guy, Tallarico, and Jasmine, and how people have decided to side with him over her, which, again, should baffle everyone, especially with all of the talk about Jasmine Crockett being the future of the party. And in essence, I mean, the part about it that makes me crazy is what we are learning is that deep down inside, Trump was right about Jasmine Crockett when he said she was low IQ, she is going to be the ruin of the Democrat Party. Let her talk. She is the what do you call it? The de facto leader of the Democrat Party. And the Democrats took that and said, if Donald Trump is saying that, we got to get rid of her.
I think the best ticket to run against J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio would be Jasmine Crockett Spit and AOC.
No.
I think that would be phenomenal. I'd love to see those four in a debate.
No.
Well,
I'll talk about that in a bit. I would tell you it would be a better ticket. It would be a better ticket. It has to happen because I believe that the future of the Democrat Party is placating black women. I think that at least the grassroots says that black women must be represented. So the ticket must be Harris Crockett versus J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio.
Listen, it's still only one black woman on the ticket.
That's not nice.
What?
One alleged. Nonetheless, is Sister Girl
Brown does not equal
versus the bromance. Think about it.
AOC is just as brown as Kamala.
No, I'm just saying that, look, you put Kamala Harris, she was the one who ran before. You got to give her another shot at it, right? Kamala Harris, what did she get, 75 million? Come on. You got to give her another shot at it. You gave her 107 days. Now you give her a full campaign, and you put Jasmine Crockett, the future of the Democrat Party, as the vice president.
Wouldn't you
vice presidential candidate, at least.
Wouldn't you love to sit in a room with AOC and Harris answering political questions?
No.
Oh, my God. I would love it.
No, because stupidity is infectious.
It would be hilarious.
No, I couldn't sit through that for 5 minutes.
They'd
it's
have
like
to
it would be
out-bimbo
like
each other.
Showtime at the Apollo, watching someone sing badly.
Who's the biggest bimbo? Go. Out-bimbo the other.
We got to take a break. We got to go to the top of the hour news. So we'll get to that. Supreme Court is next, and then we'll talk about Jasmine Crockett and what's been done to her. Audio sound bites galore this Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Let's get to the top of the hour news.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back. And, of course, you all know that the Trump administration sort of suffered a blow today when it comes to the tariffs ruling by the Supreme Court. Donald Trump did have some stuff to say about that, I think. What have we got, about a minute and a half here of talking about it? Here's the president.
You took a look at the deficits that we had with some of these countries. It was disgraceful what they got away with for many, many decades. But now we know, because this decision affirms all those things that some people weren't sure about. In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately,
you all knew that was coming.
All national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect.
Which, again, is what was already known if you were watching Fox News today. Here's John Yoo, who actually teaches tariff law in college. And I think, as he said, that as a punishment, he teaches this in college rather than constitutional law, which he normally teaches. Here's what he said on Fox News today.
Actually, President Trump could turn around tomorrow and start the process of reimposing tariffs. He doesn't need new legislation from Congress. There are a bunch of federal statutes. They go by fancy terms like Super 301 and Section 232. There are a bunch of existing trade laws. In fact, President Trump can use IEEPA itself. Again, the thing the court is saying is that you have to do it in a certain way. You have to use these trade laws to be specific as to a country and what that country is doing. Is that country a national security threat? So, for example, under the IEEPA law itself, the United States has pursued not tariffs, complete embargoes, 100% cutoffs of trade with countries like Iran, Cuba, and North Korea. If President Trump wanted to cut China off entirely, as some people, I think, in his administration would love, he can use the IEEPA statute to do that. And if he wants to impose more fine-tuned tariffs of 10%, 20%, he can use these other trade laws that I've been talking about that are sitting on the books.
So, and this was the thing that I keep trying to tell people who are lay people with this administration. They really do believe this. And if you've watched MS Now or CNN, they always characterize the president as somebody who's shooting from the hip. He's just doing stuff. He's like, he's not really. No, dude, there's an entire staff of people there going through the law and saying, yeah, this is going to end up in the Supreme Court. Or yes, some federal judge is going to put some sort of lock on this. But we have some sort of provision. We have something to go back to, or something to sort of, in other words, you have a backup plan. Always having a plan B, which he always does.
That doesn't sound like a person who's just willy-nilly doing random things.
Exactly. But what's worse off is that these people go on air and just say, what a victory for democracy! And then all of a sudden something else happens, and then
then they say nothing.
Yeah.
They go completely like, oh, look, a raccoon. And it's phenomenal. I see this on Facebook all the time. This low IQ idiot just doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm thinking, really?
Yeah, and then the Supreme Court or another court comes back in and they go, actually, it turns out that Trump does have the legal authority. And then they act like they never said anything.
Right.
It's amazing.
He's a tyrant.
Yeah, sure he is. And using the court system, apparently this tyrant keeps using the court system to get his tyranny through.
Would that be the judicial branch?
Yeah, exactly. Using the judicial branch to actually have everything that he's ever enacted.
The judicial branch, which is separate from the executive branch, which is designed to do what?
Right, an equal branch of government that only codifies everything that he's trying to do. He goes to court for it. It may be a delay, but
they use the judicial branch in order to balance out orders or decisions made by the executive branch.
Right.
And they utilize the Constitution and standing law in order to do it.
Yes.
And that's what people aren't understanding, is that there's a balance in place on purpose. Our
Yes.
forefathers knew.
And being used.
The forefathers knew that there was going to be potential problems with given too much power, right? So we've got three separate branches that are now required to take what the executive is doing and balance them out and say, this is right, this is wrong.
Exactly.
Per Constitution and the law.
Right. And again, talking about how unconstitutional the president is, and of course, all of these federal judges come in and try to stop him. He takes it to the Supreme Court. They rule in his favor. In this case, they didn't, but in many cases, they do. And then no one ever turns around and says, well, you know, the Constitution was working. When he wins, they never go, the Constitution worked again. It's like,
no, it's a constitutional crisis.
It's important.
He used the Constitution against us.
Jonathan Turley also chimed in. He's one of the people who I trust the most and is not a Donald Trump supporter.
The administration has other tools in its toolbox. It can actually impose tariffs under other statutes. So this night is hardly over for the administration when it comes to tariffs.
That's right. Hardly over. Shannon Bream also, who is she's the weekend host on Fox News, but she's also their Supreme Court correspondent. She understands the Supreme Court and knows everyone at the Supreme Court. As a reporter, this is kind of her beat. This is what she said on Harris Faulkner's show about 11 o'clock today.
Justices Thomas and Alito says this: the court's decision is likely to generate serious practical consequences in the near term. One issue is the refunds. Refunds of billions of dollars would have significant consequences for the U.S. Treasury, but the court today says nothing about whether, and if so, how the government should go about returning the billions of dollars it's collected from importers. That process is likely to be a mess, as was acknowledged at oral argument. So we have the big answer, but Harris, now we've got more questions about what happens next.
Now, Roseanne, you were just saying a moment ago, it's like we have these three equal branches of government, right? And they say that Donald Trump is a tyrant, right, and an authoritarian. And as you were saying, I was thinking about it, I was just going, you know what, you do bring up a very, very good point, because it's not like Donald Trump doesn't have precedent to ignore the Supreme Court, because some of the brightest minds, according to the left, have told us that the president of the United States, when the Supreme Court doesn't rule in his favor, should ignore the Supreme Court of the United States. Yeah, can you believe it? Somebody would say that?
Who would say such a thing?
The brilliant Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that the courts have the legitimacy, and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts.
So they're legitimate. They're using their legitimacy to erode their legitimacy, says AOC. But no, she goes one step further on the illegitimate ruling by the court and how in which the Biden administration can completely just breeze right through their ruling.
It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So you're saying the Biden administration should ignore this court, but what does that look like? What does that actually mean?
Now, I thought she'd be stumped here, but she wasn't. Here's how she explains how the Biden administration can just blow right through the Supreme Court ruling.
I think the interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on enforcement. And it is up to the Biden administration to choose whether or not to enforce such a ruling.
That's right. The Biden administration doesn't need the Supreme Court. Just blow right through it. And it's not like Biden didn't think the same thing, because he told us.
I found two other ways to do it.
That's right.
Was this before or after he fell?
The Supreme Court told me I couldn't. I found two other ways to do it.
That's right. The Supreme Court told me I couldn't. I found two other ways to do it.
The Supreme Court told me I couldn't. I found 2 other ways to do it.
That's right. He ignored the Supreme Court. So, I mean, I know Donald Trump isn't going to do that, but, just to give everybody a fair example of how ridiculous this is, talking about an authoritarian president. This guy goes through the process. Sure, he knows he's going to get stopped at every end. Any of his policies are going to get stopped, and he's going to go through a process. He's going to win some. He's going to lose some. This one was a loss. But actually, to be honest with you, it's sort of like, as far as I'm concerned, it's arguing a home run versus a triple. In the end, I kind of get to win the game because I've got men in scoring positions, and that's where he is today. So I don't really look at it as any bad shakes on the president. He's going to use other means. Sure, there may be like $100 billion that has to be repaid, but I think the stock market was a perfect example of that, and I also think that there's some other excuse me, there's some other apparatus in which the president can use because, of course, he, as you heard him say, he is already immediately putting in sanctions due to, I guess, his own legal authority to do so. Lori asked whether or not Bridge Church will be streaming the service when we are sharing there. I do not believe that they are, unfortunately, Lori, but, you're always welcome to come if you'd like to. Hello, Michael B. and all of the scallywags in the chat room. Can I read this thing that I got in the chat room about Jesse Jackson?
Okay.
I don't know why we're still talking about this, but I mean, I guess, Jesse Jackson, would I consider him a significant part of our history through civil rights and Americana? Absolutely. Whether I agree with him or not is of no consequence. But I want to read this. This comes from Homer. Homer writes, there is some conversation about the flag being flown for Charlie Kirk and not for Jesse Jackson. The president clearly supported Kirk and not Jackson. Yeah, I stopped as soon as I read that. I just went, obviously, this person is not paying attention.
Do we not know how to Google?
Yeah. Stop before
you could even ask Siri. Hey Siri, hey Alexa, hey Google. I apologize.
Before you let off everybody's Siris and Googles by saying
mine
that.
totally just went off. Yeah.
Anyway. The president clearly supported Kirk and not Jackson, which is, again, shows exactly the lack of understanding of what's going on. And what's it? He says, the man whom a flag lowering should have occurred was for, okay, he's talking about his own grandfather. That I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, he says, I am not sure why Kirk received this honor, but it's the president's choice. I've never heard of him. Presidents apparently honored those with whom they agree. Deserving recipients are often overlooked. Yes, this is true. It happens all the time. And I can contrast that with Donald Trump, flying the flag half-staff for Charlie Kirk and not for Jesse Jackson versus Obama, let's say, flying the flag half-staff for Nancy Reagan, but not for Andrew Breitbart. Because at the time, and many people will agree, Andrew Breitbart was, in essence, the birth of so many people we know today, from Ben Shapiro, Larry O'Connor, I can think of it, Matt Walsh, who we know, not Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson is kind of off the, Benny Johnson's from somebody else, but I digress. There's a whole bunch of people that Andrew Breitbart sort of birthed into this movement in independent media. Breitbart gave life to so many other organizations, but Andrew Breitbart was not given a flag at half-staff. So it happens all the time. And not only that, Jesse Jackson, he will probably get his flag flown at half-staff. If somebody commissions the president of the United States, hey, can we show him some respect? He'll
probably going to get his own holiday.
Sure enough.
In February.
Sure enough. Absolutely.
And flags will be flown half-staff across the country.
If Chicago has got, listen, think about it. Chicago, you know what?
My former father-in-law was a Chicago police officer, and one of his side details or his side jobs was to work security for high high-profile persons.
Mm-hmm.
He did security for the Jacksons.
Mm-hmm.
He did security. The Jackson 5 Jacksons.
Oh, the Jackson 5 Jacksons.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For Jesse Jackson and Jesse Jackson Jr.
Oh, wow.
He did security for the Obamas
when they were in the Senate.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Chicago is a huge place,
right,
for black celebrities, if you will.
Yeah, well, you're right. Chicago should, in fact, honor Jesse Jackson.
He should have a statue. You know what? They should put his statue right in front of the Obama library.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because, as one of the listeners said yesterday, that Jesse Jackson paved the way for me to be on the radio. So it must be fair to say that Jesse Jackson paved the way for Obama to be president.
When was Jesse Jackson in radio?
I don't know. But they say that if he paved the way for anybody, he paved the way for Barack Obama. But you know what you just made me remember as I was thinking about it?
How much
Chicago.
Obama?
Chicago needs a win, because what they should do, simple and plain, honor Jesse Jackson so that Chicagoans do not notice that the Bears are leaving.
What's the name of the Bears stadium?
It'll be in Hammond, Indiana.
No.
Soldier Field.
So they should just call it Jesse Jackson Field.
Yeah, well, no one will be there. No one will be there.
I'm going to say nothing.
No one's going to be there. Did you hear about that, Roland? The Bears are going to Indiana. Did you hear about it? They're out of here.
It's official now?
Well, let's just say that there's already been some sort of proposition, of course, that's been passed in the legislature in Indiana, and they have a place in Hammond, Indiana, that they are going to build a field for them. And Chicago just says, all right, we're done, we're out of here. And, it looks very, very promising. It's just 30 minutes away from Soldier Field.
You do know that I'm about to put you on some game right now.
What's that?
You do know that Jesse Jackson is responsible for Reese on the radio.
How so? Please. This I would love to hear.
The real people that's responsible for Obama is actually Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte.
I would probably agree with you there.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones that started that movement, getting people in Africa to come abroad to get educated. And one of the people that they got was
Obama Sr.
Obama Sr.
That is 100% correct.
So because of that is why, if they never started that foundation, it would be no Barack Obama.
Obama would really be in Kenya.
Yeah.
You mean still.
Yep. So that's how that happened.
Aaron says, Jesse Jackson read Green Eggs and Ham on SNL News. It was great. Yes, everybody's been sending me that clip. I'm sorry, folks. I did not find it funny. I never did. I watched it live when I was a kid. I didn't find it funny. I thought that they were mocking the fact that, Jesse sounds a certain way. I'll put it this way.
Did he shuck and jive?
No, it was very, I do not eat green eggs and ham. I'll put it this way. If Martin Luther King Jr. were alive, they would have asked him to do it too.
That soldier story?
And it would have been no different. Yeah.
He was one of...
Yes.
Why did they all have to have that voice? Like that kind of...
Because...
It's just like if you hear...
It's the preacher voice.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's totally
that. The Southern
Absolutely.
preacher voice?
Absolutely.
It happens... If you
Absolutely.
If you pay attention, it happens a lot amongst a certain demographic, regardless of the region from which they hail.
This way you got to speak, and plus you got to stand this way.
You can come from Oregon, and that's how they talk.
It's crazy, man.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we got more news and more views, and we will talk about Jasmine, Jazzy Fat Nasty Crockett, when we return right here on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
All right, we are back. Reese on the radio. Roseanne is here, of course. Love Terrorist. We'll get into that in a second. I'll explain to you that whole bit. Dean just sent me a picture of a red Cybertruck. I'm not gonna lie, it looks sweet. It's all reflective and whatnot.
You have a problem.
Yeah, it is. It is. Cicero says, Trump also said Jesse was a piece of work. Trump may have liked him personally, but clearly didn't agree with most of his policies. Isn't that allowed?
That's friendship, buddy.
Yeah. When they were really friendly, Trump was a Democrat. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, well, thank you for pointing out the obvious there, Cicero. But I got more things to get into, so stick around. You know, you can talk about all that nonsense. I got to get the Jazzy Fat Nasty. Come on. Come on. Don't y'all care about her?
No.
No, not you.
Oh.
Not you. Listen, this is what I want people to understand, okay? Jasmine Crockett has been wronged, okay? And she's right about her being wronged. But I want to go back a little bit because Jasmine Crockett was on that Abby Phillips show. You know, that little round table she does at 10 o'clock called News Night or whatever it is.
When everybody's screaming and
everybody's screaming at each other, yeah. Well, she was on there and she was shouting down the white man, Scott Jennings.
That's what they do.
Yelling at the white man. There was Scott Jennings in the lion's den or the lioness's den, surrounded by black women, sister girls, them all. And Jasmine Crockett broke out a whole litany of things that white men need to understand.
And I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women.
Yes. The most educated demographic is black women. Now, why was she making that point? Because of this.
What diversity, equity, and inclusion has always been about is saying, you know what? Open this up. Don't just look at the white men. Open it up and recognize that other people can be qualified.
That's right. Don't just give it up to the white man, she said to Scott Jennings. She had more to say on the subject. Black women, or people other than white men, are good.
If we have been good enough to build this country, we are good enough to serve and die overseas. We are good enough to serve in other ways.
That's right. Of course, we are good enough to serve in other ways. And she went in there, told him that, Scott Jennings, you understand that you are surrounded by 3 capable black women right here.
The fact is, stop trying to act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now, you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
That's right. Don't sit. Tell us how you really feel. Wait a minute before you even start, okay? I don't want you to go nuts yet. But now Jasmine Crockett's at a crossroads in her career. I mean, it's insane. She doesn't understand it because remember everything she said there. She is a capable black woman. And let's stop always going to the white man. And for some odd reason, after all of this time, she's confused about the attacks.
The thing that is not normal is for me to be attacked from the left. That is the new wild card in this scenario. But it's just interesting. And, I've been asked a couple of times, a couple of things about it. And, I look at this specifically as a civil rights lawyer, and I see when they're sending out ads and they're darkening my skin. And
the Democrats are doing that? The Democrats are darkening the skin of one of the sister girls in ads?
Does anybody believe? She doesn't even believe this crap that's falling out of her face.
Come on. She's been telling the truth. Remember, she's a truth teller. She don't lie.
I'm just like, I know what this is.
Roseanne, she's telling the truth. Listen, she even says that she tells the truth.
Have you received any additional clarity either from the Trump administration, from Tallarico's campaign, or...
Well, I'm sorry. That's not even important. Anyway.
Right? And the reality is that, yes, I woke up a black woman. I was born a black woman. I know I'm a black woman for everybody that didn't think I didn't know. Just FYI. Just FYI. But I am not running on the fact that I'm a black woman.
Yes, you are.
I am running on my credentials. And
we still ain't gonna vote for you, sister girl.
The credentials that made her walk into the DA's office and say, you need to hire me because I'm a black woman.
She said it herself. You're 100% right.
Those are her credentials.
Those are her
because
credentials.
She's a black woman.
That's right. Hold on.
Good creds.
She went on, and of course, I mean, all the black women in there are just, yes, queen.
And frankly, frankly, if no one wants to talk about my credentials or what it is that they are going to do for you, then that should be what's most alarming. This election ain't about me.
What?
Election is about us.
It's about us.
What are her credentials? She went to an uppity white prep school in Kansas. She went to an all, not all white, but historically predominantly white university, and then she went to a black school to get her law degree.
Mm-hmm. Her qualifications are simple. She can snap her finger and rubberneck. For those of you who don't know, that's when the sister girl does the whole.
And she code changes.
And that's right, code changes. Really, really good at that.
Okay,
that's
those are her quals.
That means so code changing is good because you want to be on either side as a double agent.
Right. I'm really white and proper when I'm here, and I want to say thank you. But y'all need to understand, because when I walk in, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even recognize I'm a black girl.
Hold on. Well, again. To get to the crux of this,
I'm qualified for the job.
MSNBC had her on recently to talk about what was going on with the Stephen Colbert issue and with the FCC. And what she's done so far is confirm the fact that the Trump administration had nothing to do with keeping her or keeping Tellerico off the program. Stephen Colbert has not asked Jasmine Crockett to come on, even after he was asked by the parent company to say, hey, you may fall into some, equal time rules.
Per the FCC.
And they won't and refuse. And, of course, here's the whole thing, the whole breakdown on MS Now.
Have you received any additional clarity either from the Trump administration, from Tallarico's campaign, or from the Colbert Show about why this all happened in the first place?
Yeah, and again, that's a good question. Have you heard from anybody? And Tellerico's campaign doesn't have to respond to her at all, so I don't even know what that question's about. But the Trump administration, again, the only thing they're saying, and they said that in saying that, hey, look, there may be some equal time rules that may be violated here. We haven't enforced any. But the legal department went to Colbert and say, hey, listen, you may have to give Jasmine Crockett some equal time here.
Right.
They chose not to give her that equal time and then use that as an opportunity to not only prop up Tellerico, but then kept it off the air, put it on YouTube, helped the guy get $2.5 million.
Yeah.
Get that $2.5 million. And then with that, you don't even offer the same opportunity to Jasmine Crockett, which again shows in Stephen Colbert's case that somebody got to him and says, hey, listen, we're not supporting Jasmine. So whatever you do, turn this into a Trump thing so that we can get some more, Tellerico time. Anyway, here's her response to the question.
And has Colbert invited you on his show, especially since Tellerico just announced that he raised $2.5 million off of this story?
No, I've not been invited on Colbert prior to his interview nor post his interview.
I'm stunned that they haven't called her.
Obviously, I've done Colbert twice in the past, and so there were questions that people had about whether or not basically equal time, so to speak, had been offered to me in order to try to avoid Brendan Carr and his misinterpretation or his reinterpretation of the rules.
Remember, she's got to still attack the Trump administration. That's all she's doing. But she reveals that, she still wasn't given an opportunity, which is in essence what, if anything, the Trump administration was explaining, that Jasmine Crockett, in her favor, must get equal time. And she can't even recognize that. What a dope.
The only information that I got was after this debacle took place. I did receive a phone call from the parent company, from a representative for the parent company, that basically said they did not tell them they couldn't air it. They just said, if you air it, just make sure that you offer the representative equal time.
Which they should have done. Go ahead.
Okay. Equal Opportunity Rules, 47 U.S.C., subsection 315, Communications Act of 1934, as amended. If a station allows a legally qualified candidate to appear, and in parenthesis, a use positive identifiable appearance of at least 4 seconds, close parenthesis, it must provide comparable time and replacement, example, same length, similar time slot, and audience potential, to other legally qualified opposing candidates upon request. How is that being reinterpreted or misinterpreted by the FCC chair?
It's Jasmine Crockett.
But the man is saying You let this guy on air. You got to let Jasmine on, too. And Jasmine is saying, I'm sorry, I'm very angry right now. Jasmine is saying he interpreted that wrong.
Yeah.
Female.
Exactly.
Female, you are a constitutional lawyer, a civil rights lawyer, and you don't know that you are...
Again, hold on. Let me play the last part.
Now, obviously, I wasn't engaged in that conversation, so I cannot confirm the veracity of any statements, but I can confirm that I had never been asked to go on as it relates to kind of talking about the Senate race.
Now, I'll just tell you right off the bat, Jazzy Fat Nasty is too stupid to recognize when someone's trying to help her because of her partisan stupidity, which I can understand why some people are saying, okay, she's got to go. But we warned you of that a long time ago. Now you just look like a turncoat. Last word before we go to break.
Oh, my God, she's stupid.
And with that, we'll go to break. We'll return. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I just pushed the wrong button. Anyway, we got traffic and weather coming up in a couple of minutes with Mark Christopher as we get into the weekend. And, of course, the roads are a little icy out there. Even we slid around a little bit. So now that we got this time before we go to the top of the hour, Roseanne, when did you become a love terrorist?
I was recruited on, I want to say it was June 15th, 2021.
Yeah, June 15th. Now, the reason why I call you a love terrorist.
Because you're fragile and delicate.
I'm not fragile.
Yes, you are.
So, Roland,
Super
she does this thing, just to explain to you why I call her a terrorist.
Which
right?
one?
She does. No, this particular thing is like, so let's say she wants, like, I'm busy trying to do something and she'll want to stop me in the middle of, she was like, come on, give me a kiss, or, come on, give me a hug. And she wants bubble time, but I'm like frantic trying to do something.
What's bubble time?
Bubble time is like us cuddling together
in
for a moment, in a bubble. That's what she calls it, bubble time. And so I was like, sweetheart, I got to do this. Let me do this. Give me a minute. So if I don't come fast enough, what she'll start to do is go to my nightstand and she'll start tossing things off of it.
I don't toss it. It's like a cat. You ever seen those videos of the cat where the cat's just like...
knocking everything down, inching it? Yeah, so she starts telling it, like my cell phone, my tablet, she goes knocking that over. My watch. Just anything that... I'll have something sitting on the bed. She took my laundry the other day, pushed it onto the floor, off the bed, and she'll keep doing that until I give in and I come over and give her a hug or a kiss or cuddle time. And I'm like, this is terrorism. This is like extortion. So I have to stop what I'm doing in order for it to get it. I'm like, this isn't fair. Now I'm mad about it because I got to pick all of it up, or I'll just storm out and go, you're going to pick every bit of that up. She won't. And I have to pick it up myself. But this is the terrorism that I have to deal with. And again, is it annoying? 120%. Yes. But I'm not going to laugh. I can't stop laughing. I'm not going to lie. I can't stop laughing about it because it is playful, but it's annoying as hell. Why do you do this to me?
Honestly?
Yes. To get what you want?
It's emotional extortion. Yeah. Listen. You wake up on your phone. You go to the bathroom on your phone. You brush your teeth on the phone. When you go make coffee on your phone, when you get done all of that, you go to your desk and you're sitting there, and all you're doing this whole time is working. It's all you're doing is working. I have to interrupt you to get 5 or 7 minutes of cuddle time when we first wake up in the morning. Like, I wake up and you're already on the phone. I have to literally come between you and your phone to steal snuggles.
Do you know that 50% of what I'm gathering, it's going to freak you out. 50% of what I do in gathering news and doing all that stuff is for the callers who call up on the phone to talk to me about stuff that I am not talking about this day. So I've got, me, I've got a set.
That's great. I don't care.
I have a game.
I want my snuggles.
I had this problem, and this is what I asked. I said, okay, do you want the money or do you want the time?
I just keep trying to tell her.
And she said, I want the money. I said, well, don't complain to me about the time. And that was the end of that.
Hold on.
I totally get it.
Listen.
However, you are working 23 out of 24 hours a day.
I could believe that, though.
If you want this.
Yes, which I do.
Yes, you got to come with this, but a lot more than this gets you this.
I got you.
So, I mean, it's called, there's this interesting, it's kind of a new concept.
Uh-huh.
It's called balance.
Yeah.
I know that. Trust me. And it's called The Weekend.
Really?
Yeah, see,
how does that work out for
Okay,
us?
I'm not even going to go any further. We'll talk about it later. We'll get more into this in a second. I've been balancing it out. Let's get another first check of weather and traffic out there because it is dangerous.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know, a lot of people agree with me, Roseanne, whether you like it or not. People agree with me that, you know, we live in a world now where we have wives who, you know, want to do things like travel to Paris and Italy. And in
when
order
have we ever traveled to Paris or Italy?
Well, we're never going to get there if you don't let me work. I'm kidding. I am kidding. I'm totally kidding.
We haven't even been to Paris, Texas, and we lived in Texas. I don't mind you working. It's just I come in and I steal moments here and there. I get 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
I've been balancing out the time a lot.
Absolutely, you have, but sometimes
I'm much better than I used to be.
Oh, absolutely. I remember one time in particular, we can't talk about it because this is a family show, but
Yes.
you stopped, and that led to a whole
discussion.
A whole discussion. We had to go on to TikTok and get popular opinion on that one.
Which I lost incredibly.
Just,
in that
yes,
argument.
you were horribly beaten, but yes, you have calmed down a lot in regard to work.
But I do hope that you understand this, that there is a degree of which I feel like I'm missing something. It's not just a fear of missing out or on something. Is that if my focus is off of an idea, like sometimes I'll have an idea and I really, really want to stick to it. That's the exact moment when you go, you're working too hard. I need you to pay attention to me. And I'm going, and then I've got to go.
Really? Because I always feel like it's when you're on Instagram or playing your game on your phone. Not Instagram, X.
Yeah,
I
don't do Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to take another check on weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is saving my behind every time.
I'm trying.
When we go to the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, how appropriate that this is named the BPS Lawyers. I need a lawyer every time.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back, folks, and I got to tell you, I'm going to spend a little bit of time getting back to these Epstein files because, you know, we didn't get to talk about the arrest of Prince Andrew. We didn't get to talk about Donald Trump's prediction of 2015, which a lot of people are ignoring. I also want to talk a little bit about the ladies at The View who have flip-flopped on this too many times and now don't know what to do with themselves when it comes to Whoopi Goldberg being mentioned in the files, because it was all about the files. And it's interesting that many people have sort of backed away. I don't understand why. I would think they would be gung-ho. I know why Mike called the other day and said, was like, I need to see some people arrested. I tell people all the time, especially these folks who are supposed to be like the MAGA crowd or the MAGA bros, you know, or people who talk about the MAGA bros. And this is, again, let me start by saying this. I don't know any of those guys like that. There are some people who are my friends. When I say friends in the sense of we have a professional relationship, you know who they are. I've mentioned them here. I don't name drop. That's not my style. But there are others that I don't know, and I understand them, and I know what their niche is, so to speak. And they are not the authority. I don't give a damn how many views they have. I don't care how popular they are. I don't care about their notoriety. That popularity and notoriety stuff means nothing. Ever. And truth be told, every time I go to these guys, they usually have it wrong. And they have made more of the punditry about themselves than it is about getting it right. And that's important. Get it right. I don't care whether or not I'm in the league with them. Not trying to be. And I also don't want to be anybody's buddy and pal anyway. I don't want them glomming on. It's like, oh, that Reese on the radio guy, she's fantastic. Get out of here with that. So I don't care about what the MAGA bros are saying. That to me, that's niche and it's, cliquey and foolish. Now, to my point. The Trump administration is going to do the Trump administration the way that it does things. It's never going to operate the way that the masses do. People think that that's a window. People think that Ben Shapiro, even Steve Bannon, what's his name, John Solomon, Benny Johnson, they think that these guys, when they're on radio, Dan Bongino even, probably the closest to the administration because he worked in it. They always sort of look at those guys as the window into the Trump administration. When it doesn't act according to that window, then people get antsy. Pump your brakes. That's not what this is about. The Trump administration works on its own timetable, and he's never, ever adhered to the norms. You know that, and the fact that you have to be reminded of that shows exactly how much you don't pay attention. You're looking over here when you should be looking at him, right? And recognizing him. And stop pretending that you know him. You do not. I tell everybody every day, Donald Trump's mystery is that he is. Wondering how he keeps doing it. How does he keep doing it? It's because you have no idea what he's doing. That's how that works. I wish people would recognize it. Let's go to the phones. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go to Louise real quick. Hi, Louise. How are you? Louise, are you there? Louise is listening to some different music there. Maybe she put me down on hold. Okay, this is Rob in New Britain. Hello, Rob.
Hello, the Rhythm, the Rebel.
How you doing, sir?
How are you, my brother?
I'm pretty good. What do you got?
And Rosanna, Modana, Banana. Over there.
Nice try. What's up?
Not too much. I miss you guys. I just haven't called in a while.
Okay, well, we appreciate that.
I agree with everything you're saying about everything.
Thank you.
And just to let you know, I'm right there with you.
Thank you, sir.
And then I found out you both are at the diner in Plainville. I know where that is. I've been there.
No, we are not. We're not shy about that. It's the Main Street Diner in Plainville that we went to.
Tabitha.
Yeah, Tabitha. Yeah,
just over the tracks.
Yeah. Were you now, Rob? Were you the person who called Tabitha to let her know that I'd played her audio on the show?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't,
Well, we went to go see her. What was it, like a week ago? I think it was like Saturday or something.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. No. Just recently we saw her.
Oh, we were just there
there on Saturday. And she was saying that someone called her and told her, because I failed to tell her what radio station I even worked for. And someone called her and said, hey, they're playing your audio on WTIC. So I was like, gosh, I totally failed to tell you when I was going to air it. So I thought you might be the one.
But there's two other haunts I like, you might want to check out.
Okay.
One is on Woodford Ave in Plainville called Uncle Bob's.
Okay. All right. Sweetheart, can you jot that down for
very, very delicious. Uncle Bob's right on Woodford Ave.
All right.
And then on Route 10 going towards Southington is a place called Saints.
Saints. Okay. Are these both diner-type places?
Dinner. Huh?
Are these both of these places are diner-like places? Because we're big diner fans. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Uncle Bob's used to be a bar.
Okay.
And Saints started out as a truck.
Oh.
And turned into a restaurant, and they got even the counter with the round seats.
That's it. Just like the Main Street place.
Uncle
Bob's? And they have foot-long hot dogs.
What's that? Okay, Roseanne doesn't like the hot dog thing. What was the name of it? Uncle what?
Uncle Bob's.
Uncle Bob's. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
we will definitely.
Saints.
Well, we want to show, that's our thing here. We like showing love to all of the local businesses, not like they need it, but it's fun to go to all of these great places. We've had more opportunity here than we did when we were living in Texas because everything was a taco space.
I just thought maybe giving you a couple of my favorite places.
Not a problem. We totally appreciate the direction.
Absolutely.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Later.
You got it. Yeah, that's one of our favorite things to do, is to go out and check out the local places. We like decor as well as we like the service and the people who go there. And plus, everybody we meet, we always kind of get along with. It's even when we go like sort of shopping at the mall. People walking by hear us bantering each other, and they always go, "Oh my goodness, you people are funny."
I know it's crazy to me. Like all we're doing is existing.
Yeah.
Other people are just engaged in They find us amusing.
This is the reason why I told you to never tell people what we do, because then they're just like, it was like, oh, really? It was like, just let them have fun. You know, because when we're around people, every time we meet people somewhere, they're always having fun with us. They're like laughing. So when women, we have this one thing that we do. So Roseanne will be in a place like TJ Maxx, and she will look at
everything.
And we're
all the aisles, touching all the things.
I have this thing that we call, there's a place called, what was it called in Virginia called Till Tuesday? Is that what it was called?
Tuesday morning.
Which I gave the nickname to that place, Knick-Knack Paddywhack,
Knick-Knack Brick-a-Brack.
Yeah, Knick-Knack Brick-a-Brack, give this crap a home, is what I called it. I called every one of them. So now TJ Maxx has sort of received that name now. Knick-Knack Brick-a-Brack, give this crap a home. And when we go there, Roseanne will be going through all the things. It'll be like, Hansel and Gretel's salt shakers. And, it's weird stuff that's in there.
The laundry little pull-out thing that I was like, oh, this would be cool. Like, where? And I'm like, in the laundry. And you're like, fine. And I was like, no, I don't really want it. I just thought it would be cool.
So the women will pass by and hear me grumbling about something, and then the women will assist Roseanne in looking for stuff, and I will tell the lady, stop helping her. Get away from her. Get away from her. And then one time, this one woman, I said to her, she was telling you, she's like, you got to let her spend her money. She wants to spend stuff. Let her spend it. And I was like, ma'am, we're no longer friends. I'm just letting you know, I'm no longer friends with you.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did, what we love to do at because we'll do it at the supermarket, or at least I've done it lately.
Oh my God.
The woman will put, and I never like it because it almost seems offensive, but when you're at the supermarket, Roland, and someone will grab the partition on the little rotation,
on the belt,
on the little belt, someone will grab the partition to separate your food from their food.
Yep.
And so this one older woman grabs that partition and she puts it down, and I look over and I said, you have a problem with my food? What's with all this segregation? And of course, in my head, I'm going, this woman's going to think I'm crazy. But I always get a laugh out of it. The woman's just like, and I'm just teasing. But that's kind of, if you see us out in the supermarket or even at the department store.
Your food has the cooties.
My food does have the cooties.
It's that black food.
He's already touched it. It's contaminated.
Thank you.
Rub off.
Yeah, you would. Anyway, I think Louise is back. Let me see if I can get Louise on the line. Louise, are you there?
Okay, I think I cut off before.
That's okay. How are you?
Okay. Speaking of lawyers, before, I happen to have a brother who was a lawyer in Boston, but that's another story. Yesterday, you had a long conversation with this attorney, and at the end, I didn't catch his name.
John Flynn is his name.
What is it again?
John Flynn.
Flynn?
Yes.
Okay. Irish name. Okay. Flynn.
Okay.
All right. And you quoted Reagan did he say something about the most corrupt city of Stanford?
Yeah, he said that. I should have looked that up. In fact, let me go look that up now. He did say that last night. I thought that I knew every Reagan quote there was, but I don't believe he ever said that. John Flynn said yesterday that Ronald Reagan said that Stamford, Connecticut was the most corrupt city in the country.
Wow.
And I've never heard that quote ever, which I would consider myself a Reagan aficionado to some degree. I'd never heard that, so now I got to look it up now.
Oh boy.
Well, thank you, Louise. I appreciate you.
The reason I'm asking is,
yes.
I think I want to pray for him. For he had a lot of allegations and for guidance and success if they're true. I mean, some of these people, a lot of these people should be in prison probably. Well, that would be better for them to lose their souls at the end.
Louise, you know what I said? I said it to him so nobody can suggest that I said it behind his back. I said that John Flynn is like a handful of darts. And, imagine throwing that at stuff. And I would go, he might be 3 out of 5 wrong or, 4 out of 5 right. Nonetheless, I would say I give him sort of a pass where I say, you know what? Let them play out. He may touch on something. I can look at some stuff and say it's completely up beyond the pale, and other stuff when I can go, okay, he may be onto something. But every person I've spoken to so far has said exactly that. They said they may not like his tactics, but they do believe he might be onto something. So you got nothing on that quote?
Yeah, no. He's
Okay.
never even mentioned Stamford, Connecticut. There's no record.
And
of
there
it.
you go. That's all you need to know, Louise.
Well, anyway, okay, again, is it John or Sean?
John, John,
Anyway,
John.
Okay, John. Okay.
All right.
So anyway, I said, we're going to pray for his safety, too. Like
Yes,
he said
ma'am.
at the end, I met risk, taking a lot of risks for sure, making all these allegations, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it put him in the psychiatric ward for a considerable amount of months. So, yeah, 100% right. But yes, we will pray for him. Thank you, Louise. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You got it. Louise said that what did you say, a brother or
a brother?
Yeah, brother-in-law. I was like, that's why if I had a brother-in-law, I would reach out to him as often as possible. But the only thing I have is a degree from Law and Order University. That's my alma mater theme song.
I love you.
I've been dying to play that for 3 days.
I love you. That is, that's what I got. I love you.
Anyway, when we come back, we'll talk a little more about the Epstein files, the stupidest thing I read today. This one is great because it's got two stories that may be unrelated or maybe not. You can't wait till you hear this. Roseanne, you're going to love this story. It involves munitions. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll break the whole thing down for you. Also, coming up, I want to talk about, as I said, the Epstein stuff. I want to get into that a little bit with The View and Whoopi Goldberg and how people are backtracking on the stuff that they said last year versus what they're saying this year as well. Plus, we'll take your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We don't have any plans this weekend. We're just going out to dinner with Chris B, right? What are we doing this weekend?
I have been waiting for weeks for this Mark Twain house thing. I thought that this was this weekend.
That was yesterday.
No, me going.
Why would you be going to the Mark Twain house this
weekend? Why
weekend?
do I care about black commerce at the Mark Twain house? I don't give a crap about that. I want to go to the Mark Twain house because I like history.
Well, no one invited us this weekend. No, that was yesterday to go, but that wasn't even a part of the tour. We didn't get to see it. Look, I
want to go to the Mark Twain house. So, however that happens, I need you to make that happen.
Okay, if somebody can tell me how I can make that happen, we'd appreciate it. So I can take it to the Mark Twain house this weekend.
Yes,
all right?
we would.
Call up Roland and let us know. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Now, did you go last night?
Yes, I did go last night. Let me put it to you this way. I went there, and it was surrounded by vendors, and I made the poor decision of eating jerk chicken and cornbread with no sugar. No sugar.
There was no sugar in the cornbread?
No sugar in the cornbread.
Oh, no sugar tonight. Yeah. You got to have the sugar in the cornbread.
It was like eating hard grits.
Yeah.
It was not.
That's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
No,
but I'm off sugar for like 4 to 5 days now.
Well, good for you. You're doing a lot better than I am.
I'm trying.
Now, did you see any of the house itself?
No, because I was asking for someone to show me around the house, but there was no one there. In fact, the assistant curator I was supposed to meet had already left before I arrived. So yeah, it didn't work.
Well, you got to go back.
I'm going back.
You'll love the house.
I can't wait.
It really is cool.
It is.
And that guy could have lived anywhere. I mean, he lived in Hartford. That's how. I don't want to dump on Hartford, but that's how nice it used to be.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, let's do the darn thing.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
The stupidest thing I read today, a hospital emergency department in France had to be evacuated on January 31st after a man showed up with a World War I era explosive in his rectum. The Irish Star reported that the 24-year-old man was complaining of discomfort because of an inserted object. But doctors didn't realize what it was until they had begun to treat him. Hospital staff alerted police, who locked down the facility until bomb disposal experts determined that the device was harmless. Surgery proceeded, and the 8-inch by 2-inch shell was successfully removed. In probably not related news, KRCG-TV reported on January 30th that Fort Leonard Wood in Pulaski County, Missouri, was offering a $5,000 reward for the recovery of an explosive device that was stolen from the base's ammunition supply last year. The demolition-shaped charge uses a specially shaped explosive-filled cavity to focus the effect of the explosion, according to the U.S. Marines website. That, indeed, was the stupidest thing I read today. What say you, Roseanne? I'm still trying to figure out why anyone puts anything in their
lonely.
bum. Yes.
Listen, I understand being lonely, but how lonely are you?
Maybe this was a kind of what's that TV
fetish?
show? No, Jackass. You know, that stupid TV show with the young guys do dumb stuff. That's what I think it was. But I can't.
The dude was how old? 60?
No, they don't say how old he was.
Yes, they did.
Oh, no, yes, he's a 24-year-old man.
This idiot.
Right at the age, that's exactly it.
Listen, just go get a boyfriend. Good God. Just go on Grindr.
8 by 2 inch, 8 inches by 2 inch. Wow. That's dangerous. That's just dangerous. Oh, my goodness, Roland.
I didn't hear it.
No, I'm so glad you didn't. That's information I didn't need to know. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, there's the stupidest thing. I just figured I'd share it.
There was an episode of Grey's Anatomy where they had...
I do remember that. The guy had the
EOD
yes.
lodged in his side.
Yes.
He died.
Yes. He passed away in the TV show.
Yeah.
He didn't really die. He was an actor.
How do you know?
Well, I'm moving on.
Dead.
Okay, we're done. It's time to get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
All right, it's only right because we got a full boat of telephone calls to get to. I will get to the Epstein stuff in a minute. Let's run through them real quick. I apologize. Listen, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The frequent callers, the ones who call every day, I got to push it to the back of the line. It just is. The news callers have got to go first. So when anybody believes if you're sitting on hold for a while and you've called up almost every day, that's the reason how it works. I hope that you understand that. It's important that we get the new callers in when they call in. So nothing against you guys. I just got to get to some other folks. Paul the chemist is on the line. How we doing, Paul?
Oh, excellent, Reese. How are you and Roseanne doing?
We are fantastic. Thank you for calling. What do you got for me?
Okay, first, chemist, educator. So I heard some of what you're doing an excellent job on discussing abortion. I'm also a manufacturing engineer, so I'm listening carefully to all those things. But anyways, what I got for you is, how come this weekend you got 2 flower shows going on, flower and garden shows, one right downtown there in Hartford and one at the Mohegan Sun. So if you want to touch a spring, I'd say, TIC used to actually have a radio spot.
We did, yes. You're absolutely right. I do remember that. We used to have a garden show here. Do we not have that anymore, Roland? The garden show. Didn't we have a Sunday garden show? I'm almost positive of that. We still have it. Okay, we still have it. We still have it here.
No, I mean you had a spot at the and the convention center.
The physical, yes, like a physical booth. Oh, I don't know why. I never knew that we had a booth there. But I will ask around. Yes, honey.
Yeah, you two definitely have to take a step down there. It's going to be. It's at the what is the downtown Hartford? What do they call that? The convention center.
Oh, okay. Oh, I love that. I haven't been to the convention center since it's been built.
Right, but the Mohegan Square. I mean, Mohegan.
Son?
Yeah, we should go to that one.
Go to that one.
I've been to Hartford.
Okay.
Not impressed.
But I've never been to convention center. So
we got one convention center.
I've not seen this one because it was built after I left. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try both. Thank you.
No,
I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Great show.
You got it, man. I appreciate you. Let's go to Joan. She's calling from West Hartford. Hello, Joan.
How are you?
I'm great. What do you got for me?
Mark Twain House.
Yes.
It's open 6 days a week.
Okay. Open on Saturdays, I presume.
Saturdays and Sunday. They're closed on Tuesdays.
Oh.
They give tours from like 9:30 to 3:30.
Okay.
And it's really a wonderful experience.
Well, my wife wants to go because she is the historian in this family. I am the chauffeur of the family, so
Right.
I'm the chaperone.
Well, chauffeurs can learn and be educated secondhand. And the fact is, the tour will talk about the era,
Mm-hmm.
the mid-19th century, early 20th. They'll talk about his writing during the time he was living there. It's just a really wonderful experience.
Oh no, I expect to be very impressed at the entire thing. So I will totally take advantage of it. Roseanne wanted to say, what were you going to say, hon?
I'm really looking forward to it. I think about when we went to Mount Vernon, the places we've been to in Texas. I mean, history is sort of my jam. I love it.
I know. I know you're going to have it. All I care about is that you are thoroughly entertained. That's all I do.
And I've known both the director, who was there, 15 years ago. I've known the docents. They're really lovely people, so enjoy it.
I definitely will. Thank you so much. I appreciate that,
You're very
Joe.
welcome.
All right. You have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Let me go to Doug. Is calling from East Hampton. Hello, Doug.
Hello, Reese. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Roseanne.
Hello.
I always look forward to being able to listen to the radio with you when you're both on. Hey, just a couple of things I wanted to chime in on that you've been talking about. I'll do one first. Was the diner.
Yes.
There's a place in Glastonbury called the Glastonbury Coffee Shop.
Okay.
And I'm kind of an omelet snob. They absolutely make the best omelets.
Okay.
And half the price of the big name places.
Doug, let me ask you this before you go on. I don't want you to. I really want to focus on this omelet thing because you are an omelet snob. Am I what you would call an amateur omelet eater because I like the Western omelet?
Omelet novice.
Yeah, am I an omelet novice?
No, not at all. It all depends on how it's made.
Okay.
If you get the eggs are thin and they're not brown and dry.
Okay.
And the inside is not just running loose, but it's substantial. Then you got a good omelet.
Yeah, I will be honest with you because I never understood that there was an art form, if you will, about an omelet. I never did. I just say, it's just like scrambled eggs with meat in it.
And that's what I thought until I was probably 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, look, I'm sorry. This is true.
This is a guy who microwaves coffee for 7 minutes.
Yes, that's true. Listen, the point is that, look, I am a caveman when it comes to food. I don't know all I know is that, do I put this in my mouth? Yep, absolutely. That's it. That's all I know. So
and I'm very much the same, but there's a couple things that really, I enjoy.
I hear you. Okay, what was this? What was the second thing you wanted to say?
Breakfast. The second thing was a little bit of a different topic that you had mentioned about the stupidest thing you'd heard this week.
The stupidest thing I read today. Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes. I have to. This is going to be as clean as I can make it.
Please.
I was at a gentleman's pre-wedding party.
Okay.
And the entertainment was two very lovely young ladies, scantily clad for part of the time, and then less so as it went on.
Sure.
And they had the biggest gentleman bouncer I have ever seen.
Okay.
He was the most ominous-looking guy. So they were not messing around. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I got to find a way to put this. during their entertainment section, when the two ladies were together, one of the ladies took a wooden baseball bat.
Oh, no, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Was it fully engaged?
But that is not my thing. But man, I was intrigued. The more you think about it, the more you wonder about it.
I'm already gone. I'm done. Thank you.
I have a question.
No more questions.
Was it fully engaged?
Meaning what? No, what does that even mean?
He's tracking what I'm putting. He's picking up what I'm putting down.
I don't even know what that means.
That's okay.
Well, listen. Listen. Just
okay.
He says yes.
Roseanne, I would say if it was a 32-inch bat, that may have been.
Goodbye, Doug. God bless you.
That is a skill and a talent, sir.
I'm so done with you. You are a mess. Why would you even go down that road?
They weren't ping pong balls being.
Yeah, well, that's even worse.
Launched across the room.
It's even worse.
How do you do that?
I don't know,
I'm
and I don't
look that up.
Stop. Just let it go.
Okay, sorry.
Your curiosity is killing me. You're just the worst person ever. Anyway.
I've been called worse in better places than this.
Yeah.
So.
This is true in better places. I want to get to this Epstein thing because it's important. Let me play this bit for you because I thought this was interesting. When ABC News reported, of course, the obvious, which you all heard yesterday.
And we have some breaking news, some stunning news out of London. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested, presumably in connection with his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, so when they posted that, I was like, that's interesting. You know, it's not – I kept saying to people, did anyone expect this not to happen? Who didn't think it was going to happen? The Prince Andrew thing was pretty much a foregone conclusion a long time ago. Why? Because Donald Trump told us in 2015 –
you raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it.
Yeah, just ask Prince Andrew. That's all you needed to know. And they were talking about it for a long time after that. And remember, when Donald Trump made those claims, they dismissed it. Oh, it's Donald Trump just saying stuff. Just saying stuff. Nobody listens to him.
Bottom line is that.
Yeah. So all of that.
Saying stuff.
Exactly. So remember The View in all of this. And they couldn't stop talking about this. You know, they had all the insight. And again, remember, The View is a part of ABC News, right? And they have producers in the news department that are in there.
Did you do the air quotes when you said news?
Yes, which I should. Here's what they were saying. I remember it very well, just recently even.
Bottom line is this. Release the damn files and release them now. Release everything. If this does not implicate Donald Trump, why wouldn't you say release everything? They absolutely have to show us what they're all hiding. If there's nothing to hide, release it all.
But all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list?
Because, they should just say, listen, this is what it is.
Yeah. This is what it is what they told us they needed to.
That's what Whoopi said, right?
Yeah, it's what Whoopi said until, of course, she found out that she was in the files, which I also found very, very funny. But I want to get to Sunny Hostin, Houston. In 2024, which is part of that clip, she was out there saying, that we are not supposed to take this stuff too seriously. Just because you're in the file doesn't mean anything.
People were dying for this information. There was some sort of list that everybody thought was going to come out, and who's on the list. What's important for us to note is we shouldn't be repeating names that are on the list, because just because your name has, not on the list, but in the documents, just because your name is on the documents doesn't mean that you have done anything criminally irresponsible or illegal or civilly irresponsible. Or that you were a client. Or that you were a client. These documents, as I read them, only reflect Epstein's sexual assaults of women and his sexual behavior. So I think that...
And Elaine,
and Ghislaine. And so being named in this suit does not equate to being accused of wrongdoing. And I think that is extremely important because conspiracy theorists seem to not understand or enjoy facts.
That's right.
Yes, these are the facts.
That's right. They don't seem to enjoy facts. These are the facts. And then less than a year later, Sunny host in Houston Houston said this.
There is a list. Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public. I mean, of course, Trump is denying any and all allegations.
I thought it didn't mean anything to be on the list. I thought it meant nothing.
But all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list? Because there is a list.
It doesn't mean anything, they told us. It doesn't mean a thing. But guess what? It's out there. 3.5 million pages are out there. They're clearly there for people to read. But this is my favorite line. The Daily Beast talked to that guy from The Atlantic, that little sleazeball with the little worm with the glasses. I can't remember his name now. But the Daily Beast, but they said something very interesting after guys like, Lex has been named, and of course Lee Summers has been named, and of course the Obama attorney, from White House counsel has been named. Now the woman here in Connecticut has been named. All of the people who the Democrats know and love have been named, interestingly enough. And now what blew my mind was hearing the folks over at the Daily Beast say this.
Is it possible that the release of the Epstein files turns out to be good for Trump?
Yeah, I think already it has. I mean, it has certainly taken the focus off of him.
That's right. It sure has.
But why?
This is what they wanted.
No, but why has the focus been taken off of Trump?
Because his involvement inside the files has nothing to do with the stuff that everybody else has been related to, or at least associated with.
Interesting.
Yeah, again, like I said, it's like, it's taking the focus off of him. So I think they have to deal with it. And this is also the reason why the so-called knuckleheads, as I like to call them, are now nowhere to be found. I don't see them in my chat room anywhere. Where's all of the Epstein guys who talked about all the distractions? Epstein files are out there, and the more they read them, the more they don't like them.
Trump is afraid of it coming out. Really? Because, I mean...
Yeah, I think we know who's afraid.
I haven't really seen...
Yeah, we'll see it.
Anyone implicated.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. A little more news, a little more views when we return. And plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. That was weird.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We'll do music news in a minute. I totally forgot to even print my music news today, even though I have it. I just didn't grab it. So behind the scenes, I was reading something. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This comes from John Solomon's report on Just the News. Try this on for size, Roseanne. You'll love this story. In a dramatic repudiation, the CIA director, John Radcliffe, on Friday rescinded or revised 19 intelligence reports the agency produced dating back to the Obama era because they were politically biased or used poor spy tradecraft, including one analyst suggesting that women who pursue traditional motherhood were at danger of becoming violent extremists.
What?
A senior CIA official told Just the News the reports were initially flagged during a review by the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, then reviewed by career agency officials before being retracted, recalled, or revised. Said, quote, "There is absolutely no room for bias of any kind of the CIA's work," the official said. "So when we find instances where our tradecraft did not reach that high bar of impartiality, we must correct the record. And that's why we're taking steps to reinforce analytic integrity by ordering the public release, substantive revision or retraction of these products that do not meet the CIA's tradecraft standards. Of the 19 analytical reports I just want to check the time here. Okay, well, I'll read the rest after the fact. But yes, one of the Obama-era CIA reports said that a mother who chooses traditional motherhood ran the risk of becoming a violent extremist. That's insane. Well, maybe it explains Renee Good.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
That's what I get for not paying attention. Didn't realize what time it was. Anyway, we're back. It's Reese on the radio, Roseanne on the radio. I'm trying to ask a question of our church, and I don't know if this is if this is an appropriate description. So, you want to hear the sentence that I wrote?
Sure.
Is the baptism dunking? That's I don't know if that's an appropriate term, but I'm asking. So,
how about if you don't send that and we will properly articulate the question?
I'm in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
I'll type, I'm on the air.
There we go. Thank you.
I'm just going to say I'm on the air.
Good grief. The professionalism abounds here.
Sorry. I'll just say sorry for the wording.
You could have just waited.
I was being forthwith. I was just trying to get to the. I was just trying to be proactive, so to speak. So if you're figuring, I'm pretty sure you can figure out what we're saying. So someone from our church is contacting us, and they're, of course, contacting us during the show. I don't even think they know that we're on the radio.
I don't think so.
No, they do. They're not, we really don't kind of promote it like that. But it appears that Roseanne and I will be baptized very soon, right? So that's.
Yep.
Are you excited about that?
Oh, possible terror attack near Vegas.
Where? Whoa, really?
Yeah, check with John.
Okay, John Beckman, local news is probably going to be faster on that than the rest of us. So either send me a text or go into the chat room. Did they say where?
Just said near Vegas.
Just near Vegas? Okay. All right. They're looking at it. Subversive baptism is what Michael A. says. Thank you.
Submersive, not subversive.
Did he say subversive? No, he wrote subversive.
Okay.
He meant submersive.
It's supposed to be submersive.
Yes, that may be correct.
Oh, good grief.
No worries. I was pretty sure you would be.
There.
Thanks for answering.
Full submersion.
She didn't say exactly what it. Oh no, it is. It's submersive. Yeah. So yeah, wow.
You want them to squirt you in the face with a water bottle? What is it?
The power of Christ compels you.
There you go.
Yes. No. Well, I told you this. Did I tell you this story when I was baptized at St. Gabriel's when I was a kid?
You've not.
Okay. So and it's a great story about my grandmother because she and I did not have a great relationship. But I tell this story because it shows exactly why we did not. I was at St. Gabriel's Church, and of course I was in the choir, and, my life has changed in so many ways. I've done the changing of religion and that whole bit, which you know. Anyway, so this is an opportunity for me to do it sort of, in my view, the correct way, and I was hoping that this would be submersive. So, nonetheless. So I'm in St. Gabriel's, and I get baptized, and in the Catholic Church, it's usually done with holy water by the priest, and he will take his thumb, and he will put the sign of the cross on your forehead with the holy water. Well, it didn't take 24 hours, and I got the biggest pimple in the world right on my forehead. Sitting right in the center of my head.
He must have forgotten to bless the oil.
Well, there it was right in the center. And I'll never forget that after I got it, my grandmother looked at me, she says, "What's wrong with your face?" And I went, "I don't know, but I got a pimple after the priest put the holy water on my forehead." And my grandmother, without missing a beat, says, "That's the devil coming out of you." And being a teenage boy, your grandmother says something like that to you, that you're a little affected by that. It's just like, my grandmother just said that. And again, look, I'm not going to lie, it kind of lined up, It
didn't take. Obviously, the devil did not leave you for a note. That pimple was too small of a portal for it to try to exit.
But the way that she said it, it was very just intimidating. That's the devil coming out of you.
This is the same grandmother who encouraged you to drink root beer, right?
No, that was my mother who encouraged me to to drink root beer.
The women in your family are...
My grandmother...
I make sense. I make so much sense now. I totally get it.
My grandmother, on the other hand, did something I thought was, again, probably another reason why we were not very close. So when Caleb was born, he was just about a year old, and I took him to her house so she could meet her first grandson. And no, that's not. I'm wrong on there. That's absolutely. This would have been her great-grandson. I apologize, her first great-grandson. Anyway, so I bring him there, and he's lying on the couch, and we're talking, and Caleb was very colicky, and whenever he slept, I was very concerned about him waking up and getting a good nap. Well, he starts getting fidgety and whatnot, and of course, every time he got fidgety, I would get up and go check on him. And what does my grandmother do? She sits there and looks at me, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm going to check on him." She goes, "You can't check on him every minute." I went, "Well, he's making sounds. It sounds like just making sure that he's okay." And I was like, look, I'm concerned about my son. I'm just probably a little overprotective. And she looked at me. She said, "Eddie, you just can't love him that much." And I went, "What?" And she said, "You can't love him that much." And I never really understand what she meant by that, but it just seemed like there was a limit when it came to my grandmother, which explained a host of things when it came to that woman.
So you could only love your children a certain amount,
yes.
And then it was just
there was
unnecessary.
There was a cap on it. There's a cap.
And again, this makes sense because I'm telling you, like, I need affection. You're like, didn't I just love on you like this morning? Eddie, you can't love me too much.
You just can't love him that much.
You can't love me that much.
I never understood that. It really made me uneasy. I'm just like, it explained every person in my family.
Yeah.
It was like,
I'm not going to lie. It kind of explains a little of you, too.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What, you mean my lack of love? I love you very much.
No, your expression
of love.
It. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I tell you, what do I say every day? How come you don't love me today? Right? You know I'm being playful. Like, yeah. Didn't I tell you this morning that I love you? Yeah, that was this morning.
It just seems like a lot. It seems like a lot.
Words are free, Edward. Words are free.
I wish you wouldn't call me that. Let's go to Larry in Wallingford. Hello, Larry.
Hello. A couple of things. I love the playful banner.
Thank you, sir.
It really lifts my spirit. The end of the month, I'll be married 50 years. So.
Oh, hey, come on. That deserves a round of applause right there. Hold on.
Wow.
Okay. So, anyways, one of the things that I don't know if you guys do any walking around your town at all.
We used to when we were in Texas. We don't do it a lot here. It's too cold.
Really cold.
But I predict that we will do a lot more of it when it gets warmer.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to give you a public service announcement.
Okay.
Because we are in the intersection, and it is controlled by traffic lights and the pedestrian lights, that halfway through that intersection, the traffic lights will turn green on you,
yes,
allowing traffic to turn into you.
Yes.
When you're halfway through. Now, the average street is about 40 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 70-some years old. I won't go into that.
Okay.
And I walk my dog. So it takes me a few seconds to cross the street. More than once, I've been almost hit.
Wow.
Why do we live in a blue state again?
No, what we should do is, would you deem it better to just drive to sort of like a park like Wickham and just sort of do like a sort of nature walk where it's safer, there isn't a lot of traffic? Would that be a better plan?
Reese, I got to tell you, I would absolutely love to do that, and I used to do that on Quinnipiac Trail.
Okay.
Until my dog got attacked.
Oh.
It cost me $8,000 to get her repaired.
Wow.
So, and God bless the young lady that was walking all the dogs. It was a Rottweiler Pit Bull mix.
Ooh.
That nobody ever should mix. But anyway.
Apparently not.
It just grabbed the dog, left two little tiny pock marks.
Yeah.
But it ripped the skin away from the muscle.
Oh.
So we ended up with a 4-inch patch of dead skin.
Oh, man.
And I won't go into, thank God for Central.
Yeah, I hear you.
Central Animal Hospital, thank God for them.
Yeah.
They're in North Haven, and that was the day they had the fire in their surgicals.
Holy moly.
So we had to drive 7 days in a row down to Guilford for the repair. So that's beside the point.
Yes.
But the state has decided that, and I don't know why, but I can only picture based on somebody got delayed crossing the road on a green light or a pedestrian light and said, "Oh, we can't do this."
Wow.
So halfway through the pedestrian light, the green light turns, and this is in Wallingford, and I'll tell you, it's on North Turnpike Road and Parker Farms Road. And I've been dealing with this with our town council since October.
Is this one of those efforts where the town council or the people, the powers that be, they won't react until there's a certain number of fatalities? Because we've dealt with that before.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I was told by the police department, the actual police chief.
Mm-hmm. It's always the police chief that tells us, because that's what we learned in Virginia.
So where do you draw the line on the town council is supposed to be our town leaders?
Yeah.
They decide all this. And when I deal with both the Republican side from October till they got voted out, and now I'm dealing with December, and basically they're saying, go away.
I do have to, I got to go to a break soon, but you bring up a valid point. But I will say this sort of as a counter to, in essence, like, I don't like the fact that they usually put this thing around. What was the thing in Virginia? We had like 5 or 6 fatalities. What was it? What was the usual rule, Roseanne?
I don't know.
Is roughly, I know that the place that was near U-Haul, it was like 5 fatalities before we could get a street light in that area. Yeah. And I understand what you're saying is like, why do we have to wait that long? In their view, they kind of say it was like, well, in that case, we'll get a street light everywhere if we get 3 fatalities. So they try to find a middle ground. I would just say a dangerous intersection is a dangerous intersection, and someone in the town manager or
that's what a city planner is for.
Exactly. A city planner should be able to sit there and watch that area to see the amount of traffic that is in it, because traffic changes all the time based upon the construction of, how things change, how people, moving into the area. There's got to be someone to assess that outside of this ridiculous rule that says 5 or 6 fatalities in order for it to throw a street light or even a stop sign. So, but thank you. I appreciate the public service announcement.
And I just got to tell you, it's already been said by the town engineer that this is dangerous.
Yeah.
And people are going to get killed.
Yeah. And it's always the fact that the person who knows best gets ignored, and the people who know nothing get to make all the decisions.
No. She's not getting ignored, believe me.
Oh, okay.
She's not getting ignored. She is basically on the side of the state.
Eye on it. It is something that we will throw on the list. I appreciate you.
Okay, I appreciate it.
You got it. We're going to take a break in a second, and then we'll take the final list of phone calls that are on here. If you want to jump in, give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. And, so it looks like it's official, Roseanne. You and I are getting baptized. So, you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is something that you wanted. We talked about it last week in church, and I thought you... That's going to be interesting. What am I going to wear?
Clothes, preferably.
Okay. You have to bring a change of clothes, I'm presuming.
I'd assume so.
Okay. All right. That's going to be weird.
I've never been baptized, so I really don't know.
Yeah, I've never been baptized in this way. It almost feels like, I'm like 6'3". Everybody I know at the church is like 5-something. It's not going to be weird?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, sir.
Did anybody tell you you're no help here?
And yet, here I am.
I said here. I just said here.
Every week.
In this particular subject.
Every week, here I am.
Let's get a check of weather and traffic before I get in trouble. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Every time you show up, Mark, for some odd reason, I'm in trouble. I think it's you.
You know what? I wouldn't put that past me. I do have some negative karma. So I quickly should launch into this. You guys.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
So it didn't take very long, but there's already video of the alleged terrorist attack, according to the reports. A young man by the name of Dawson Noah Maloney, 23 years old, sent a note to his mother, or at least a correspondence to his mother, that he was going to be a terrorist and was going to be on the news. Video has surfaced of him driving his vehicle into the substation in a town. Is it? What do you have the town that he was driving into? I don't even have the...
No, but I found a YouTube page of a very young man named Dawson Maloney.
Mm-hmm.
He's a surfer, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the same kid. This kid is from Albany, New York. And they're saying he drove to Nevada in a rental car. And a rental company's going to be upset. And drove his vehicle through the gates of the substation. There is a video online. I just watched it. It appears that he drove his car at a high rate of speed just right past the police cruiser and crashing into the power substation's fence.
It just says Nevada Power Facility.
Yeah, Boulder City is where it's saying it is. Boulder City is where it took place. News 8 says that he did die of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. What did you find out? What were the other weapons they're suggesting he had inside?
An AR-15, multiple magazines for the AR, pistols, and 2 flamethrowers.
Goodness gracious.
He was also wearing body armor, but he shot himself, so the body armor didn't work, obviously.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson to everyone. Body armor doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's insane.
When you shoot yourself.
Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to work. Someone had sent me a message. Let me see if I can. I think it was Adam12 that sent it to me. It was saying something along the lines of, actually, let me open this up because I know exactly where it was. They sent it. And it says, let me see. Okay, so according to this, this was, that's interesting. Why are they saying this happened on Thursday? This didn't happen today. According to these details, maybe I'm getting that wrong, but let me give you what the breakdown says. Maloney reportedly messaged his mother calling himself a terrorist and stated that he wanted to be on the news. They said they found him with explosive materials and books on extremist ideologies in his hotel room. And the FBI and Las Vegas Metro Police are investigating if this was a terrorism-related event, though they state there is no ongoing threat to the public, according to this information. So, I don't know.
No, this guy's from California.
Oh, that's another story?
No, this Maloney person that on the YouTube video.
Oh, okay. It's a different guy altogether. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Those are the details that we have until we hear something else. I guess those are the details as they are. When we come back, we will get your phone calls so we can wrap up the week here on the show. So if you'd like to, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Mark Christopher, he is out there getting you home in the safest way possible. There's some people in the hills, Mark, that cannot come down because it's so icy. Mark's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, in the northwest and the northeastern part of the state, the weather people have been saying, good chance of some icing up there, so definitely use caution.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, it's about time to wrap up the show. Wonderful week it was. It goes by so fast, and that's probably part of the thing that I can't stand. I wish we'd just slow it down a little bit. I didn't get any music news today because I forgot to even print it. But there's a lot of notables. I just want to make sure that I, at least mention them. Happy 89th birthday to Nancy Wilson. She, of course, is the Grammy-winning singer of How Glad Am I. Also, Jay Giles from the Jay Giles Band, known for Centerfold and Freeze Frame. He is 80 years old, but he would have been 80 years old. He died in 2017. Also, Kurt Cobain would have been 59 today. Rihanna, congratulations, turns 38. And Olivia Rodrigo, you like her, right? Do you know her?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought she would have been right in your alley. She turns 23. She was born in 2003. She turns 23.
I have shoes older than her.
Anniversaries are Buddy Holly's Buddy Holly album in 1958, making it 68 years this year. Of course, that album had famously the song Peggy Sue. Elvis had the album Elvis Now, which was released in 1972. That album had a cover song of the Beatles' Hey Jude. I've never heard that. I need to look that up. I never knew that. I have to listen to that now. I love Elvis. Pretzel Logic by Steely Dan celebrates its 52nd anniversary. Of course, it has one of my favorite songs by them, Ricky Don't Lose That Number. That's a great song. George Harrison, never really a fan. The Smiths, let's give it up to my boys. Morrissey, of course. Its 42nd anniversary of its Smiths album, its debut album, including introducing Morrissey's lyrics and Johnny Marr's jangy guitars. I was wearing a Smiths shirt yesterday, which is why I'm really excited about that. And then that's pretty much it. Oh, Jimi Hendrix, did you know this? 67 years ago, in 1959, a 16-year-old guitarist made his stage debut at Seattle's Temple de Hirsch Sinai Synagogue. That guitarist's name was Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
That's wild.
Did you know that Jimi Hendrix was shot and still performed at Woodstock?
No!
True story.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
No, he wasn't.
Yep. Somebody shot him, I think, in the gut. I can't remember.
No, there's no truth to that. No way. Are you certain of that? Where did you hear that? I know you like history, but are you serious?
Yep.
That seems almost insane. Really?
Yep, hold on.
Okay, you're going to look it up?
Yeah.
All right. So those are some of the music news that we have today. Let's get to the phones. Let's start with Bob in Waterbury. How are you, Bob?
Hi, Reese and Roseanne. How are you?
Hey.
Hey, congratulations on your baptism.
Thank you.
When I was about 8 or 9 years old, my parents would send me and my brother and sister, and my brother was probably about 16, 17. My sister was a couple years older, and my brother and sister used to send me up the church steps to get this little printout of, like special prayers and news and everything, and we'd bring it back to my parents. Yeah, we went to church. And years later, I kind of felt bad and everything like that. And I said, and then I thought to myself, I said, wait a second, my brother and sister, they're the ones that are going to go to hell.
You were just following orders, right?
They just told me to go up there. I'm a stupid 8 or 9 year old. I don't know.
Yeah.
We went to Dunkin' Donuts. They were smoking cigarettes. I got a donut. I didn't care. But I'll tell you now, 55, 60 years later, I started going back to church again. And it is pretty cool.
It is.
It gives you an hour and a half, hour just to think things out.
I am, I'm so overwhelmed after I go to church. And when I say overwhelmed by realizing that it's never too late. And there was a part of me when we first started going to a Bridge community where I said, what am I doing here? Aren't I too old for this? I almost feel out of place. And then after a while, I became very, very comfortable and started to realize, just like, my sobriety, it's never too late. When I used to say this saying very early in my sobriety is that you can run as far away as you can from God or Jesus Christ. All you have to do is turn around and he's right there.
Yep. He's going to help you out.
Yeah.
like I said, I started going back to church now. Let's see, I'm 65 now, maybe about, a few years ago. And, it's like, I'm pretty sure he opened the doors and he said, come on in. So,
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Cool.
Thank you so
Have
much,
a good
sir.
weekend,
You
guys.
too, my friend. Have a great one. Let's try Bill calling somewhere in Connecticut. How are you, Bill? Bill? Okay, maybe not.
I like to say that
yes.
God wasn't lost, I was.
Well, yeah, there you go.
You're doing that thing again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You get on my case about it now?
Yeah.
I'm not mimicking you.
Not mimicking. It literally, because you're wording, you're mouthing.
I'm jumping at the chance to respond.
Oh, so
that's all it is.
So you're listening to respond,
yeah,
not listening to learn.
I'm doing a radio show. This is not like us having a conversation in a room.
Oh. Well, thank you for clarifying about the significance of my conversation.
Really appreciate that. Stevie V, what's going on?
Well, you probably know that Jimi Hendrix played with the Isley Brothers originally, right?
I do remember that.
Yeah. And then Eric Clapton did the song Layla. He actually married George Harrison's wife. I don't know if that and Jay Giles that lived in Connecticut.
I did not know that. That is interesting.
You ever hear the song Lamb Jammer by Jay Giles, Magic Mike?
No.
It's a harmonica solo like. I'll send it to you later.
Okay. You know what? It's funny because all of these guys from Craig to Chris B, and who else? Goodness gracious. I can think of a host of others. We've got Matty O. Everybody's always like sending me music that is really, really deep. And you know what I have to tell all my friends, Stevie V? I am an immature music lover. And in that sense, these guys love instrumentation, where me, I'm just an old hip-hop boy from Hollis, Queens. I like beats and rhymes, man. That's all I am. It's sad, but it's true. There is some music that I can get into, but it's like, it's just me. I don't know what it is. I try, but it's just me.
You love what?
Beats and rhymes.
Beans and rice?
Well, let me send it to you and see what you think.
Okay. You got it.
I like music. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah, I'm a simpleton in a sense. I try not to be a music snob. I used to be, but I try not to be a music snob. Okay, I'm a music snob to you, Roseanne. The stuff you listen to is garbage. Anyway. Thank you, Stevie.
Two more things real quick.
Okay.
Okay, that guy who did that stupid thing, I don't even think we should mention his name on the air. It may encourage other people to do stupid stuff like that.
That's also true.
But also, my people did meet with you people for the barbecue. I'm going to send you a letter that you can read over the air, and they're going to reciprocate the invitation. I'd read it to you, but my voice has been going.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You said that your people introduced. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Well, remember the last time we talked, I mentioned have your people call my people to do a barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they got together and did it. I'm going to send you a letter. Extend an invitation to them. I think you'll probably appreciate it.
Okay, all right, no doubt. I love it.
If you don't mind reading over the air for me, okay?
I will not hesitate. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Okay, I think Bill is finally back. Bill, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here now, Reese.
Hey, yes, sir. You're loud and clear. How can I help you today?
All right, so you were talking about getting baptized, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I just recently joined a church called Destiny Church in Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Okay.
And Steve Harvey is the pastor.
Okay, hold on. The Steve Harvey?
Yeah, the Steve Harvey.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Reese loves Steve Harvey.
Okay, so all right. So.
Sorry, she is not being honest right now. Okay, for a woman who's about to be baptized, tell the truth. I'm not the biggest fan. Go on.
So what I'm trying to tell you is, you need to go to the Destiny Church, and they have this big tank where you go in there, and you're gonna be dunked.
Okay. Okay, what's the name of the church, Roseanne? Put this. You have to put this down. What's the name of the church again? And it's in where? Bloomfield, you said?
It's Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Okay.
It's called Destiny Church.
Destiny's Church. And Steve Hardly Funny is the minister.
Steve Harvey is the pastor.
The pastor. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm not going to change. I've been calling him Steve Hardly, meaning Hardly Funny, all of my career. I know.
He's a great guy.
I'm sure he is. I'm teasing.
And his wife is Ruth Harvey. it's.
Do I have to make reservations to go in? Like any schmo can walk in?
I'm going to tell you, just I can give you his phone number.
Well, I don't want all that. That's okay. That's no offense, but I don't wish to contact him again. I've just for personal respect,
right.
I wouldn't do that.
I understand all what you're saying, but what I'm trying to tell you is this guy is legit. And
okay,
he's a great guy, and I would think you would love to be in this church.
I don't listen. If Steve Harvey is the pastor of a church and he gives sermon there, I think that it's in Bloomfield. I will make it my business to go down there to go listen to him, and I'll be as discreet as possible.
All right, you should absolutely do that because it's a multicultural church.
Sure.
I'm a white guy. My wife is a black woman.
Okay.
And there's. It's Pentecostal, so.
Oh, okay, all right. Nothing against that.
But you know what? I was a person that just believed in the universe and all.
I hear you.
And you know what?
Well, Bill, unfortunately, I do have to wrap it up, but I appreciate you, and we will check it out, and I'll even talk about it here on the show.
Thank you very much.
You got it. I will tell a great story about Steve Harvey. And I will honestly say that this is absolutely 100% true. Now, I sort of tongue-in-cheek jab at Steve Harvey, or as I call him, Steve Hardley, for that matter. But he's never done anything wrong to me. But I will say this. And knowing now that he is a pastor of a church, this makes absolute sense. So you remember my ex-wife, Mary. Mm-hmm. And as we were going through our separation and divorce, ultimate divorce, she and I had a falling out, and we had not spoken for some 5 weeks. And this was right at the time you and I had our first phone conversation. So in between that time, and this is when you and I decided we weren't going to talk to each other, but it was our one and only.
Decided we weren't going to go out to eat, and right. You decided you weren't going to ever call me again.
That's correct. Okay. And right at that time,
be honest,
yes,
sir.
I know. Right at that time, Mary and I weren't talking for 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm driving home from work, and I would have never turned on Steve Harvey's morning show. And as I'm driving, it's on, and it's the day after Kobe Bryant had died. It was the Monday after. And Steve Harvey was on the air talking about, I don't care who it is, whether it's a friend you haven't talked to in 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. He goes, you need to right now call that person and just say, I don't care what it was that separated us from or ended our friendship, whatever it is, I forgive you. You need to do it. He said, because the Kobe Bryant thing just made us all realize that whomever it was, we can lose them in an instant. Kobe Bryant's death means that any one of the people we know can just be gone like that. And as he was saying it, I'm not going to lie, I was overwhelmed. Steve Harvey just delivering that message. I was like, I cannot believe it. Of all the places that I would realize that I can no longer hold grudges, it would come from the mouth of Steve Harvey. And I was like, in that instant he said it, I texted Mary and I said, I don't care what it was. I forgive you. I just want to tell you that I forgive you.
I learned this in AA. I learned this just from going, right? My early years in sobriety is that sometimes the way that the message is delivered, the mouth from which the message is received the best, it's not always somebody that you like.
Yeah.
And I think that's because God is challenging you in that moment to say, what's more important here, your pride and ego or getting the solution?
Yeah. Such a great point. We got to get up out of here. It's over. Let's get another sorry.
Wow.
Before we leave. That's right. That's right. Just the show. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. She is Roseanne on the radio. Say goodbye, Roseanne.
Goodbye, Roseanne.
We'll see you guys on Monday. Holla, holla, pop, you call him Mark Christopher. Still getting you home as it's getting frosty out there. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.